What's cracking? It's your favorite day of the week. Right. And that's because we got the hottest set of twins, Queen Reese and Sway Swizz, always giving you that motivation and that inspiration. So congratulations on tapping in with the twins. It's time to tap in. It's time to tap in. It's time to tap in. Tap in with the twins. Hey. It's time to tap in. Okay. It's time to tap in. Okay. It's time to tap in. Tap in with the twins. Right now. Right now. What's up, y'all? What's happening?
Man.
Episode 8, Tap In with the Twins.
Episode 8.
Listen, it's been a couple of weeks, right? And we definitely miss y'all. We hope y'all miss us.
Man.
We took a couple weeks off. Why we take a couple weeks off, Reese, actually?
Man.
Nothing too crazy. Well, yeah, nothing too crazy.
Nothing too crazy.
Shit happens.
We took a couple weeks off due to the most common fucking problem right now.
And what is that?
That's the COVID. So, just to give y'all the spiel really quickly, basically, my son plays basketball for a high school team, and unfortunately, there was reports coming in of the players on the team testing positive. Shortly after, the coach came through and said he tested positive. Long story short, a lot of people tested positive, so I wanted to get my son tested as well. Why are you laughing at me?
Because those stories do be long.
So, no, all right. Let me long story short.
I'm joking.
You, okay? So I got my son tested to be on the safe side. I got myself tested as well to be on the safe side. So the original test that we took did show that he was positive. I was negative. We did the one where they stick the long, skinny thing up your nose there. It's really uncomfortable. But we did that when I did find out he was positive. And this was days after he really actually had contact with the team. So unfortunately, quite a bit of the team did end up testing positive. Fortunately, my son didn't have symptoms. He was okay. He was maybe that first day. There were a couple things that possibly could have been symptoms, but nothing too major, fortunately. So we were closely approaching Christmas. And of course, in order for us to really do Christmas how we normally do, being around Big Head and the rest of the family and stuff, we wanted to make sure that we all were safe, specifically being around my mother, but really with all due respect to everybody. So it's funny that we spent our Christmas morning doing something so odd.
Back up.
What you got to say?
Back up.
Come through, cuz.
God.
Come through, cuz.
Damn, y'all don't understand what it is. Y'all don't understand how hard it is being her twin. God dang.
Come through.
Now.
All right, what's up? Slow it down.
What had happened was...
Had a couple shots. What happened?
Nephew
Mm-hmm.
tested positive because a little squad or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess, I really didn't have to interrupt you.
No,
What I
ahead.
was saying was that's why we took the first week off, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, well, that's why we took both the weeks off, right? Because Christmas, you were clear, I believe, already. But that's why you took the 2 weeks off to quarantine.
Oh,
so
definitely.
that you didn't come around. I guess that's all.
But it still did all happen in that quick little time frame.
I guess it did.
I know you just wanted to speak. Go ahead. It's cool.
I really don't. Yeah, okay, now back to you. That's all. I just wanted to make that clear. That's why we've been gone for 2 weeks. Is because Twin wanted to just quarantine and, keep everybody safe. So
yes,
we just spent some time just thinking about the brand and the podcast and stuff like that, and just, what we can do differently. And
yeah.
Twin has had a bunch of other exciting stuff going on that she's going to share with everyone. Bossing up on everybody. So, okay, now we at Christmas.
Because that was 12/19 at 7:27 p.m. Eastern, if we want to get specific for Sway. Kidding, but just saying. But yeah, so for Christmas, we just wanted to make sure everybody was clear, of course, before we gathered, because to Sway's point, we had been quarantining, so we hadn't been around anyone. So this was going to be our first time around people. And let me add that fortunately, when I found out, we really hadn't been around anyone. I had actually been moving and packing and things like that. But thankfully, we hadn't been around anyone where I wasn't concerned with anyone else getting it. And again, we quarantined. So Christmas came.
Perfect.
Thank you. Christmas came, and we spent our Christmas morning doing the most odd thing.
I know, right?
Testing for the damn COVID.
Before we get into the...
Yes. So my son, especially because he's the one that actually had tested positive, again, when we did the nose swab version of the test. So this time, we were referred to someone who does the blood test, which will tell you if you've ever had the antibodies in your body previously, meaning you've previously had it, or if you currently have it. So we came and had everyone in the family tested. My son, again, specifically before he even was able to enter the home, we had him tested, and he was clear. It did show the antibodies in his body previously. It did show that he did not currently have it, so he was clear of it, thank goodness. And he was able to enter.
Right.
So we had the whole family tested. Everybody tested. Everybody's came back as negative, not even showing anything in the antibodies. Not even showing any antibodies in their bodies, meaning no one had even previously had it. And so we had a great Christmas, right?
We did.
So no,
but then we did remember.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't know if you had some input about Christmas. You know how we spent the day because it wasn't until the day after. I don't want you to feel like I'm Mike Hogging. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Let you get a verse in.
You know I talk a lot, so I love when you take the mic. No, so go ahead and tell them about the next day.
Okay, so the next day, so we had Christmas. It was wonderful. We had a great meal. Of course, y'all know, if y'all follow us, y'all know that we really are just full of laughter and fun and stuff, especially on the holidays. So the next day, we had left all the tests at Twins' house. They were all just laid out like the sheets of paper with the results. Which, you know, there were 3 lines. The first line was if it was really blood. The second line was if it were antibodies in your body, and the third line is if you currently have it. So again, my son was the only one that had the 2 lines. So the next day, Twin called me and was like, yours is showing a second line, basically, which would imply that I've had the antibodies, that I do have the antibodies in my system. So I'm like, no, what? We checked it that day. It didn't say it. Blase, please. So I ended up contacting the guy who did the testing, like, hey, it's showing 2 lines now, which would mean that I've previously had it. And he said, well, send me a picture, send it to him. He confirmed you did. So long story short, or long story long, come to find out I did actually have the antibodies in my system, meaning I previously had it. Of course, I'll never really know the source of it, but I could assume that it was from my son. Again, however, I'll never really know, but thank God I didn't have any symptoms or anything that would even make me identify the time frame that I may have had it. So there's a part of me that feels
30, 45 days.
I don't think I've been so just all over the place with life itself. I don't even know if my body would have felt anything. I don't know. That might have been dumb to say, but honestly, I've been so all over the place that
you do got a lot.
Obviously nothing major because I would have felt that, but not even just even basic symptoms. I don't even know if I would have paid much attention to them just because I just been having so much going on. Yeah. No, so that was interesting to just find out we're all safe and everybody's well. Yes. There is a slight part of me that just feels a little bit of relief that, like, hey, we got it over with. I hate to say it like that, but it is something to just know what we did get. And fortunately, we got through it. I will say that it was interesting that the doctor recommended that we take 1 baby aspirin. I forget the milligrams, is it? I forget the dosage terminology, but it was the baby dosage. He was saying to take 1 of those a day for a year, which was interesting because he was saying it would help to keep your blood from thickening, as that is one of the major side effects is your blood becoming thick, causing blood clots and things of that nature. So I'm not a pill taker, so that's, different for me. I don't pop no pill, baby.
Okay.
So that's different for me to take a pill every morning, and have my son do it. If it saves us, fine. I'm really just looking actually for additional recommendations to make sure that is the thing to do, because these days you just don't know who to believe. But that is what we were recommended to do. But yes, that is why we've been gone, you guys. But we're back. Everybody's great. We're healthy.
Yes. Thank goodness.
Yes.
We were able to spend Christmas together and laugh and act the donkey like we always do.
Act the donkey.
I love the holidays.
Yes.
Cool. So the vaccine, Twin, you taking the vaccine?
Nah, negative. I've never taken the flu shot. I'm not doing none of that shit. And if you do it, you do it. I'm not judging no damn body. But
I just think. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna give my quick opinion on why I'm not taking it because again, I've never taken any flu shots, and I just I don't know. There's a part of me that just feels like back in the day, none of this shit was available, and we got through. At least that's what the right side of my brain thinks, because the left side could think, well, maybe that's why some people passed that maybe didn't have to. I don't know, shit. But in my head, I just feel like I've never had to take anything else. Just, again, I'm not a big pill popper. I'm not one that likes to depend on that type of stuff. I just feel like God got me. I try to take care of my body to the best of my ability, and I just don't want to take it. And unfortunately, due to what's going on in the world, not in politics, it just makes you a little nervous to take it because you don't know what's even in it.
No, for real. I don't know. I just feel like I need them to do a little bit more testing. to see to get the final side effects of it.
Exactly.
Before I even consider it. And the only reason I would consider it is because, they say once you take it, you're supposed to be immune to it. So you won't have to worry about it. So I'm going to just give them a little bit more time to do a little bit more testing.
I was just going to say, though, that I saw yesterday that I don't know the true realness of this situation, I guess, but somebody basically who took the vaccine had reporting positive. So I want to look more into that and see, how accurate that was. But that would be super crazy if somebody actually turned around and still got it even after receiving the vaccination. That I would definitely.
Yeah, that
just kills all.
That is interesting.
Weight. Yeah.
But yes,
so you said you wouldn't take it either? I don't know if I
said I would only consider it after they've done enough testing and just we know all the side effects and I just need some time to pass. Right. That's all. And I might consider it, but even then, I'm not really jumping to it. I'm not excited. I know some people that took it.
Right. You do.
Yeah.
They mouth still straight. It's not crooked.
Yeah, actually, I do.
Crooked.
It's actually I wanted to call her actually just to ask her how she's feeling and stuff, but I didn't want to make it a big deal. So I was like, we'll hear about it. But yeah, I know some people who took it already. So a lot of the hospital staff, I think they're required to take it. Right. Yeah.
I heard they might require it for a few different things, even if something as simple as going to the movies. So.
Yep, going to an event, even going back to some jobs, they're requiring it. So.
Yeah.
We'll see, though, praying that everything is it works out and that there's no side effects and that, it does help so that we can get back to normal and open back up outside.
That's the ultimate goal.
And I'm really speaking for the other cities because, Atlanta,
right.
we not really closed, y'all. Church is closed.
Is it?
The sports games are closed, but they're limited. The seating is super limited. I mean, it's probably 100-something people that can attend a game. And, man, listen, because I really wanted to go to church. First of all, today, the actual day that we're filming is December 31st, 2020, right? So the episode is going to drop on Tuesday, January 5th, which is going to be our first episode of the year. So this is our last time filming for this year, but this is our first episode for 2021. 2021, our first episode for 2021.
This is our last episode of 2020.
Right. This is our last time filming. For 2020.
Okay.
Our first episode for 2021. Okay. I forgot why I said that now.
I'm sorry. Damn.
What were we talking about?
I think you were just sharing that with them, maybe. That, hey.
Something about the podcast.
It's New Year's Eve, basically.
God dang it. What the heck was I talking about? You playing. Anyway.
My bad, playing.
I forgot why I was saying that. But
anyways, I felt like being your twin, I could be wrong.
Just saying with Atlanta, I was saying how I really would like to be in church tonight. I went to church last year for New Year's Eve, and I think that was my first time going to church. Well, I think I went one time when I was younger, but it was just such a different experience, and I just felt so good, going. And it's cool because you get out, you get out around 12:30 or something like that. Yeah. Actually, they had some sessions you can go to before that. It was at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock or something like that. And it's real brief. It's 45 minutes. So you still got time to go there, get the word, and then go out and have a drink and stuff if you want to. But I remember just feeling really good, feeling really motivated. Yeah. I just think it's such a dope thing, and I want to make that a yearly thing. But the church I want to go to, Dream.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I was going to say, I know it was real high energy and just all that.
Exactly.
That, to me, played a big role in what...
Exactly. Ooh, it was so just... Exactly.
Versus and it was going into a church, no offense, but where you just kind of getting... And I won't even say just preach to, because he preached as well. It's just his energy and the way he does it is a little different and a little more receiving, I feel like, personally, versus, some of the just...
Pastor William Murphy. He's dope, though. Yeah, he delivers his messages really, really good.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to do that this year, but when I checked, I believe it said they only were doing online services for most of the churches here. So I just thought it's so interesting that the churches, you can't go to church and you can't watch a game, but you can go to any club. You hear me?
Yes.
All the clubs are going to be open tonight with no capacity. They selling everything out. So I just thought that was so interesting. But my fiance has some friends that are here from New York. And one of them was saying how they were just really, how it felt really good just to get out and just be around people, because New York is still on shutdown. The restaurants, everything closed. The clubs closed. So some cities and states that are still closed. But Atlanta is the city that never closes. That's never closed, really. You know what I mean? So we are wide open. But I am looking forward to still the rest of the world, just everybody getting back to as close to normal as possible. I don't think we'll ever get back to, how we were 100%. But
Like as people start to build stuff, I think they're going to build it with COVID in mind, you know what I mean, with sanitation in mind. So dividers and stuff like that, the stuff they implemented once the COVID came, I think that people are going to take that and keep that in mind as they build and stuff.
Right.
So that if this ever happens again, we're already ready for it, especially businesses.
Absolutely.
So,
that would be smart.
but yeah, so with all that being said, Reese.
Something's in my eye bothering me. I'm sorry.
You have something really big going on that I'm super proud of, and it's been interesting, exciting, and everything being a part of the journey, just watching you go through it, which it hasn't been the smoothest. It's actually been quite a journey for you, and sometimes it's tough for me to even just see you go through it, but you definitely been handling it like a boss, so I want to let you know that. But I want you to just share, because what you're going through, I definitely think so many people, you sharing your experience is going to help so many people. Like for real, because if somebody hears your story, first of all, it's intimidating. It's going to make you not want to even go through the process you're going through. But that's why I think it's important and it's good for us to share our experiences so we can just help each other. You know what I mean? So go on and tell them what you got going on, twin, coming into 2021, what you've been working on, bossing up.
Yes, sir. Now let me just.
By the way, we drinking, y'all. This how we don't normally do it, but we drinking today. It's New Year's Eve.
Hello.
And not that really mattered, but just to let y'all know.
Just to let y'all know. But I do want to be clear, just to piggyback off of that let me be clear. Hennessy. It's the Hennessy. That this is not, don't let my story be discouraging. Again, in all instances, there's always just that one little story that might have just been a little rocky. I would like to think that's just what the case was with me. So do not let this discourage you all. But I bought a house.
Yay.
Yes, I am officially going to be a homeowner come Monday.
Yes.
It was supposed to be yesterday. Thank you, Pooh. This has been my number one supporter,
That's
as
right.
always.
That's right.
But before I just kind of give you a little spill as to my process, I was actually supposed to close yesterday. But due to some legal stuff, basically, because the CD, basically the closing disclosure that I signed, when you sign that document, which is pretty much like the final document that you sign when you're about to close, you have to give the buyer 72 hours before you can actually officially close on the home. And I signed it on Saturday, and which typically counts, but due to new reasons, I don't know, they didn't count it, so I wouldn't have been able to close until today, technically. Unfortunately, there was no attorney available, and then we know it's the holidays, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and the weekend, so unfortunately it got pushed back to Monday very last minute, I was totally pissed about it. But let me just say this, this was my first time buying a home, so I'm definitely a first-time home owner. I went into the process not really knowing much about it. I really don't even know anyone else that owns the home. No offense if there is somebody I know that I'm not thinking of, but nobody that I definitely haven't experienced the process with to just like have a process to compare it to or just to even understand what to expect. So I got the realtor I was referred to by a friend. The house searching process was a little difficult for me specifically because I was looking in a particular school district that I wanted to get my son in. Not only was it one of the top 20, I believe, don't quote me, but it's definitely one of the top school districts in Georgia. It was a good opportunity for my son to excel in basketball, so I really moved to this city specifically for my son, to be honest, and to just send him off to college the right way, spending his last couple years in high school the right way. So saying that to say, my process was a little, finding the house took a little bit longer because I was looking in this one particular area code and school zone where it was kind of expensive and just kind of a hot commodity. So the houses were going fast and things of that nature. So I kind of just had to find what was good for me. So, it's just as the process went on, things were being kind of thrown at me. You have to pay for the appraisal. You have to pay for an inspection. Just the entire process, I honestly just didn't know. So things were kind of being thrown to me last minute, which was just unsettling for me and just made me a little uneasy about the entire process. Buying a house is one of your biggest investments. It should definitely be a fun experience. However, I'm sure in any situation it's not easy. I actually hear that quite often, that just buying a house is rough. I don't think it had to be as rough as my experience, but I'm sure just trying to find the home and the ideal home for you, because again, you're making your biggest purchase. That piece I feel like should be the only hard piece, in my opinion, is finding the house.
Exactly.
Prior to that, preparing your credit, I do credit repair, as y'all know, and I learned some more things about just what your credit should and should not have from actually going through the experience. which is one way to look at this entire thing, given that what I'm leading to is that it was rough as far as, I just didn't know what to expect. I didn't have any knowledge. So things were kind of just thrown at me that I feel like if they were told to me in advance, I could have prepared for them better. Just down to, again, what to expect to come out of pocket, just the overall process, how it works, the expectations with the timeline, things like that. So I'm thankful for the experience because I learned a lot. I almost wonder if God put me through that process for me to just really learn the most rough side of it so that I could be able to, better assist my clients when it comes down to purchasing a home.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I've been looking for a few months, was supposed to close again yesterday. Technically was supposed to close the day before that. There were things that just weren't done. I think everybody was just busy as well. I also understand that this time of year, being at the end of the year where a lot of businesses and people just take off and things of that nature, is just a tough time to close as far as, when things go wrong, it's probably a little harder to adjust. But the number one piece of advice I would give is to just really try to understand as much of the process as you can. First and foremost, is to take it all the way back. I would say to really prepare for your credit. I mean, you want to get it to a place where you have a variety of mixed credit. So an installment loan, revolving, very minimal inquiries if possible. You don't want to have anything in dispute. You don't even want to have literally the dispute remark on your credit report that says in dispute, previously disputed. You don't even want the word dispute on your credit report at all. Of course, you want your score as high as possible to ultimately get the lowest interest rate. But make sure that you definitely just have a mix of credit. Make sure that your credit score is, at a nice high. I would say at least
credit score?
I would say at least 650. I mean, in all honesty, they give away loans with 580. But,
really?
If you want of course, it's going to be higher interest and a different type of loan and things like that. Yeah. But I would definitely say, shoot for the stars. If you can get a 720, 740, that would definitely help. But just get it as high as you can. Don't stress too much about it. But again, remove any derogatories and things like that. Don't have any current late payments. Don't have any current inquiries. Again, try to just have your credit touched for the previous 6 months. Don't touch it. Don't inquire. Don't dispute anything. Again, if you do, just
basically
make sure you
don't go buy nothing. Some people they don't understand what inquiries mean.
Right.
Don't apply for nothing for what, 3 to 6 months?
Yeah, they say 3 to 6. I highly suggest 6 just to be on the safe side and just to prevent any, BS and to make it a smooth process.
Right.
So get your credit together. Make sure you get a nice realtor that understands houses, even how they're structured, which is one benefit of mine as far as just learning about the foundation of houses and things like that. Understanding the process, if you feel like your realtor's not telling you that, inquire about it, do some research, whatever you feel you need to do, even if it's finding another realtor, do that. And
don't be scared to ask questions too.
Exactly.
Right? Sometimes when we're dealing with people that's like a professional, they make you feel like you can't ask questions. Just kind of like shut up and listen to what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Don't be scared to ask questions. Like it's your purchase, it's your money. When you're paying for something, don't feel like you need them. Like they need you just as much. So ask questions. It's your purchase. At the end of the day, it's going to your name. So I don't care. And if anyone makes you feel uncomfortable because you're asking questions, I wouldn't work with them. Exactly. They should be happy to answer and explain so that you trust them and that the process is smooth. You know what I'm saying? So.
And they only gonna care to the degree you care. So if you're not really asking nothing and they doing this all day, every day, they're not gonna really put forth any extra effort to do anything to, do anything extra. Versus if they see somebody who's asking a lot of questions and really knows what they're doing and trying to understand the process, then they're gonna handle you accordingly.
That's so true. That's so true. When you on top of it, they on top of it. If you just let them be lackadaisical, they're gonna be lackadaisical. So that's a good point.
One last thing I would say too is understanding that when you're calculating and doing your numbers to kind of like understand your mortgage, just make sure that there's a few other fees factored in there, such as taxes and insurance and things like that. So I know me personally, I just would always get stuck on this mortgage number, not knowing that it's going to be an additional $300 to $400 minimal
per month.
Yeah, by the time you pay for insurance and tax, a few different things. So it's not just one thing. But by the time you add in the additional fees is what I'm saying, there is a little jump there that you'll be paying monthly. Like, for instance, the insurance, I actually pay that in my mortgage. The taxes, I actually pay that in my mortgage amount. So it is just that one monthly payment, but it's a number of things that you're paying for. So just have patience, stick with the process. you know, again, the one thing that I wish I would have knew was just a little bit more about it to prepare properly. And, you know, there was definitely some hiccups that the people I worked with, not my realtor, but the lender, just to be clear, could have done better as far as just a little more organization and handling me with care since it was my first time buying a home. But look forward to Credit Freedom today, 2021. I definitely want to drop some information and some jewels for you guys in regards to that, just as far as actually, you know, not just preparing your credit, but really preparing you to go and get a house. And keep in mind that your score is not necessarily the key factor. You know, that does play a role, but it is also your credit file. Again, you want to make sure you have a mix in all of those things. So don't go to someone to think that just because they're improving your credit score that it's preparing you for buying a house. You need to make sure your credit file has what it needs and the strength it needs to go in there and get approved for the loan that you want.
And basically, they find all that out by contacting you.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, just to make it simple.
Basically.
CreditFreedomToday.com, right?
Yep. CreditFreedomToday.com.
Cool. So, right, because I was surprised at all the additional fees that you weren't aware of in the initial process. I remember when I inquired about buying a house. I haven't bought my house yet. I'm planning on buying this year, 2021. But when I inquired, I remember my guy giving me like a list of everything. So some of the stuff you didn't know, he had already told me.
Yeah.
And that's just mind blowing to me that they didn't give you a heads up on basically nothing. They just said, you're going to buy a house and you're going to have a mortgage, but didn't tell you all the extra fees, even the closing costs and stuff like that.
And again, maybe they thought I knew, and little do they know, you know, I don't know what I don't know, but I even actually suggested to them, like, just some type of welcome letter that would just tell me, hey, expect to pay XYZ, expect this to take this long. You know, we need this, you know, just kind of set the tone so that
Because I can't imagine somebody who didn't have the funds to just deal with it like you have, because they've increased everything, the down payment, the mortgage, everything at the last minute is just numbers changing up until literally like the last freaking hour.
I forgot to say that, numbers changing.
So, you know, some
crazy,
people, they got just enough to move,
room.
you know what I mean? And so make sure you do have a little wiggle room, like you said, just some extra money just in case.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
You got to.
Because
and you don't want to buy the house and be house poor and then, you know, have to be scraping up money coming up with these extra funds, and then you ultimately move and you're not happy and you're tight and check the check and you can't even really enjoy like the fruits of your labor. So you definitely want to have wiggle room.
Yeah. And make sure it's in your budget. I know we all dream big and stuff like that. And your time will come. Make sure you get your dream house when your time comes, and don't feel rushed and don't compare it to anybody else.
Yes.
And get the house that you want. It's not all about the biggest house. You know what I mean? It's whatever makes you comfortable, whatever you're happy with. You know what I mean? So shout out to all the first-time home owners.
Yeah.
And, so how do you feel like going through that? First of all, I just, again, want to commend you, boo, because I swear, I'm like, I told her, I was like, I feel bad to keep telling you every day, hang in there, twin, be strong, because I'm like, this is like, how many weeks of this shit? I'm like, man, she's really been handling it really good, where I know a lot of people would have really broke down or not been able to handle it financially, like I said, you know what I mean? But you definitely handled it like a G, which is going to just help you with, in the future, with just other shit.
Right.
Businesses and just personal life, everything, just how to just handle stuff and be calm. Because I think normally, me knowing you as your twin, you definitely would have broken on like week one.
No.
So, and that's what my concern was every day. I'm like, oh, this the day. She about to be Sharice today.
Facts.
And I'm like, how you doing? She like, you know, twin got this big smile. I'm fine. I'd be like, okay. But I've been just so proud, like, damn, you know, she's really handling it very well. I mean, like, even right now, not to put your business out there, I hope you don't mind, but, you know, she was supposed to close yesterday, right? But you had to be out your apartment still.
Right.
Even though the house isn't ready, townhouse, excuse me.
I hate apartments.
They the same nowadays.
Nah. Apartments is people above you, around you.
You're right.
Okay.
Left, right,
top, you gotta go through the door and it's all y'all doors through the door. Nah.
No facts.
But no.
Gates, all that. No. Key fobs. No, let me stop.
But no, like you said, I have to
but
move
she
out.
has her stuff still sitting in the truck for a couple of days until she's ready to move. And, you know, luckily, they are being professional in the sense that, like, they're taking accountability for their slip ups, and they're gonna work with her and try to reimburse her and just kind of accommodate her as best as they can. So luckily they're doing that. You know, that always makes the situation a little bit better. Yeah. But you know, you just still hanging in there.
Yeah. Not to mention that my car.
Listen.
My car is literally leaking oil to the point where you can see the oil tracks lead to my house. You can see the oil tracks go up and reverse in, indicating I reverse into my driveway. And that happened literally a few days ago. I mean, I literally cannot even drive my car. So not only am I carless, not only was I dealing with some whole other shit that I haven't even talked about that's just been draining and requiring a lot of me that I'll definitely want to talk about a little later on once things kind of get a little more settled. But definitely a lot thrown at me. And like you said, I normally would have broke by now.
Yep.
I've just been trying to use this whole experience as a way to teach me to just be strong, especially when to go into entrepreneurship. I know that there will be challenges and things that I'll have to just learn how to handle and overcome, because if, at the end of the day, life goes on with everything, and it's just not about what happens. It's more so just about how you handle it and, using everything as a lesson and just learning to move forward and just continue to progress in life. Because again, when you look back at everything you've been through, you've gotten through it all.
Exactly.
So it definitely has been tough, but I've been feeling like a real G about this shit. I'm not even gonna lie, honestly. I've been feeling like a real G. Even the fact that my shit got to sit in a U-Haul for 5 days.
Car sitting somewhere. And then she wants to get a new car, but she can't apply for the car until they completely close on the house on Monday, because you can't touch your credit at all or nothing. Because I'm talking about literally minutes up until sometimes they will run your credit again and make sure you don't have any new inquiries. So do not play with that credit until you got those keys in your hand. And then literally you can take them keys and go to the laptop and start applying for shit. Yeah. But so definitely I think that, like you mentioned earlier, it is God testing you. I feel like you have had a kind of rough year at the end, but I love just seeing you just flourish and just come out of it like a G. And a lot of it is you just doing it on your own. You only got you and your son there. It's not like I live with you. But you're doing little things I noticed just to help just be happier and just progress in life and just chase your dreams and just feel good about everything. So you're doing so good on that.
Thank you.
But I just want to know how you feel like just buying a house. Like I can't wait to
fucking bossy. I'm sorry.
First of all, your house is so nice. Like we're not even gonna talk about the house and the plans. She got like what, a half acre backyard. Like it's so big. I told her it's enough to like build a whole nother house back there. But I'm so proud. Like I love your house. I can't wait to have the holidays at your house. But yeah, I just want to know like
definitely. It feels so. I'm sorry.
And I know you still gotta wait till you get the keys. But how do you feel right now, just leading up to?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the keys just yet. But I know that it's mine. I mean, everything's been signed, sealed, and delivered. So it's mine without a doubt. And honestly, it just feels so dope. It's crazy because I really feel like it's gonna give me this extra boost of motivation that I really do need. Just feeling like a boss buying a home. And let me be clear, I struggled a little bit with buying a home as far as just struggling with the fact that I always envisioned me being with a man, a husband, preferably, buying a house. So going into this by myself with my son was a little different for me. Like, damn, I do wish I had my partner or my husband with me when I'm looking for these houses and talking about what I'm going to do to it and all that stuff. I think that would be really, really dope. Unfortunately, I didn't have that. I also didn't want to allow that to delay my dreams and what I wanted to do. And that's still very well possible. But right now I wanted to do what I wanted to do for me and for my son, ultimately, like I mentioned, getting him in that school district and stuff. So I just feel dope that I was able to even achieve that for my son, get him in this district, this school district, to help push him academically with basketball. Just feeling accomplished that I did it on my own, repairing my credit on my own, which ultimately led to me starting a credit repair business on my own. And just going through the entire process, I just feel so fucking bossy, like, and just in a good way, like, and I can't wait to help other people, what I'm saying, feel the same way. That's why I wanted to go through it before I really start implementing those type of services with my business. I wanted to go through it myself to really experience it and understand it better. And I just can't wait to help everybody else achieve the goal, because I know it is a dream for a lot of people. So I just feel awesome. I can't wait to get my keys. I can't wait to hook it up, decorate it. I can't wait to build my outdoor experience in my backyard and, just enjoy it. I'm just
Me too. I can't wait to have fun at your house. But, another thing too, and this all about you today. It's all good because I just really, I'm just really happy for you. But another reason why I think it's so dope is you're going through all of this because you really had to narrow down, like, where you could move because of the school district. Yes, so it would have been much easier and you would have had many more options if you were able to just kind of move around the city. But the fact that you really sacrificed and are doing this for your son, I think is just so lit. Because it is extra hard because you're trying to find it in this school district.
In a city I really didn't want to live in.
Exactly. So it's like you really believe in him early, you know what I mean? And just to make that sacrifice, because most parents, they're going to do whatever's comfortable for them at that time, you know what I mean? But you really, like, look, if he say he want to go to this school district and
Right.
he gonna, you know,
He's
he's
putting in
gonna
the
give him
work
that
behind it. He ain't
exactly.
just come tell me, Mom, I want to. He was training every day, going out every day,
Exactly.
working towards it, really showing me he was serious. So I wanted to meet
Exactly.
him halfway, and you know, and
That's what's up.
and I know, in all reality, who knows, you know, what the future holds as far as how long I'll stay at the house. You know, I'm at peace with when he goes off to college. If I want to move, I can sell it. And I wanted to say that because I know often people feel like when you buy the house, I've heard people say recently, oh, I can't stay in that house 25, 30 years. Or
Right.
I don't want to be in the same spot. You can sell it. And
They
especially
really
if you
think
buy
that.
the right house, you really can benefit from it when it comes down to equity and all that other stuff. Whole nother discussion, but you really can benefit from buying a house in many ways. But you're not stuck in the house. Keep the house up. Definitely go in there, renovate, add some stuff. You can get more value from it, but you can always sell your home if need be. You know, of course, you want to find somewhere if you can stay for a while, but don't feel like you're stuck is the point I was making. I definitely
just
not stuck.
and just to give you an example, as far as like when people say you can get equity out of a house, just to give you a small example.
Yeah.
For example, say you purchase a house for $200,000, right? And say in 5 years or 10 years, for some reason the value of the houses go up because maybe they built a stadium nearby or for whatever reason. It's a lot of different reasons why the value of the houses can go up. And now 6-7 years, the house is worth $250,000. Well, you can get that $50,000 out of the house, and they will actually give it to you. And that's what you consider equity in a house. So your house, the value of your house can go up, and then you can get the difference between what you paid for it and what the current value is. So just to give you a small summary. So a lot of people buy houses.
You know,
exactly.
If you want to start a business, you know, it's a lot of things you can do with it, and that I'm still learning about myself. So as I learn, I'll be sharing. But just know that it's not just. And let me also say this: don't always think that. I feel like we were grown up or brought up. My bad. Thinking that, or at least in my head, it was kind of instilled that mortgage is cheaper than rent. I just want to set the expectation that is not always the case.
Unless you get
it depends on what you're renting, and it depends on what you're buying.
Yeah,
now, if you're renting a $3,000 high rise in Midtown Atlanta, you can find some mortgage cheaper than that. But it just depends. But just do your research, and you know. Houses vary, of course, in prices and depending on their location and stuff. But I just don't want you to have that stuck in your head. It can be depending on what you want. If you're just looking for a particular type of house, it absolutely can be cheaper than your rent. It really depends. But
yeah, like you said, it depends on what you're currently paying.
Exactly.
And because the same house is usually going to be rented for higher than it will be sold
so
for,
in
the
that
mortgage
instance, it's always naturally lower than
exactly.
rent. But when I guess
because the owner has to make their money.
Understood that I'm paying X amount of, hundreds in rent, that my mortgage will be cheaper no matter what. Not knowing, and some of it is just common sense, taking the time to think about it, which I just never really did because I wasn't pursuing it. That, hey, of course, the bigger the house, the more, and I wanted me a house. So my mortgage definitely is not cheaper than my rent. But I also, again, got me what I wanted, something a little more. And the area I was in, the school district, all of that played a factor because I definitely could have gotten something cheaper, but elsewhere. But just keep that in mind. Just be prepared for it all. But it's a great accomplishment. Again, there's other many things you can get from it, even if it is slightly cheaper than what you pay in rent somewhere else right now. It is all worth it. The process is all worth it, even all the hassle. Start working on your credit in advance now. If you start working on it now, you can buy you a house before the summer of 2021.
Hey, let's get it. That's my goal. Sometime this year.
Twin,
cool, twin.
Well, mansion.
Well, we gonna see. Little something. I just want a pool. I definitely want my pool in the back. That's about it. I don't need too much space, but I just need, like, my house now is pretty cool.
Right.
I need the basement to be a little bigger.
Right.
But that's it. I don't need to be on the intercom like,
know.
Shelly, you in the West Wing. Like, we don't got enough people, you know what I mean? So I don't need all that. But definitely a nice house with that's spacious and a little pool and, just to feel real good.
I already know.
Eventually, we'll see. But listen, if it isn't the big old mansion house, I'll buy the house that I want now. I might live in it for a couple of years. I can sell it and buy another house. Like you said, I'm not stuck in there. Exactly.
Right, because that's really how you get all the key features, because that's another thing about shopping around. You won't find everything you want in a house unless you build it. And that's something I'm considering too. Maybe it's down the line. Maybe I'll just build the exact house I want. But just start off somewhere. Hey. Remember, don't feel stuck.
Yeah. Cool. Well, congratulations again, twin. I can't wait till we have your housewarming. And the next episode, we'll give you a couple weeks to settle in. We'll give you a couple weeks to settle in and everything before we start questioning you and stuff like that.
Right.
But again, shout out to you.
Thanks.
So, going into the new year, again, once this airs, it'll be January 5th, right? So we're going to talk about New Year's resolutions. Okay. And some people are like, y'all so fake. Y'all only want to get serious at the end of the year. Y'all want to use January 1st. Y'all should have been doing that. First of all, I can't stand negative people like that. It's like, shut up. If people want to use a holiday to reset their goals, damn it,
Right.
let them use it. Whatever it takes to reset your goals and make you focus. Shut up. People trying to do positive stuff, and it's just always some people
Like,
just
always
always
got
got
something
something
to
to say.
say.
Like, shut up. How about that be
Right.
your New Year's resolution?
Yes. How about that?
So, twin, have you had the time to write yours out yet? Or?
I haven't actually taken the time to write them out.
Okay.
Thought
Do
about
you-
them most definitely. Now, let me just see. The Henny gonna have me all over the place. But let me just say this.
That's okay. Anything is possible.
I would just say my natural, one of the number one things I want to accomplish going into 2021 is, like I kind of just mentioned briefly earlier, just being stronger and learning how to handle things better and with just with a different energy and all of that, because I'm definitely one of those ones that would, I would just complain about everything.
Ooh,
I got tired of
yes.
hearing my damn self. Like,
Yes, I'm glad you know it.
and it's like, that shit is so unnecessary.
I just be like, all right, that's one of the stylists calling me. I'll call you back. Not today. Not today. No, I'm just
Straight
playing.
up.
It was never that
Straight
bad,
up.
boo. I promise you.
No, hey, I own my shit.
You know me. I'm always like, what? How can I fix it?
I know. Why you playing this one?
I don't want to hear you like that.
Episode, a whole series. The fuck?
Stupid.
But for real, y'all had to realize like that negative shit and just sitting in the moment, it really just is a waste of time. It doesn't get you anywhere, and just focus on how to get through it, how to get past it. Even right now, my shit gotta sit in the U-Haul. I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? I gotta stay. I mean, I could go get a hotel, do whatever I want to do, but I'm staying at mom's just to vibe with mom's because that's my bestie. But the inconvenience of it all, I guess. But just learning how to get through it, it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna get my house, and even in bigger situations, if you just everything can be figured out. Just get through it. Just stay positive. Spend all your time and energy into how to get through it and how to just move forward in life. So that's one of my number one resolutions, is just being more positive, being more strong in situations, and just learning how to learn from situations and get through them versus sitting in the moment dwelling on them.
That's lit. I need to work on that too.
Other than that, just being confident in who I am, not letting my past and some of my past experiences and or how I've let people treat me in the past define who I am and what I deserve. Right. And
that's right, boo.
And just not being fearful of anything, and that might sound, I'm sure we all have some fears, but I definitely have had fears in the past that I just want to let go of and just move through life positive and strong and just not worried. I'll deal with whatever challenges I have when they come. But again, not letting how I've let people treat me in the past, which did really bother me at some points, making, obviously coming to the realization that I was weak in those moments and just not really understanding and aware of who the fuck I am. But I'm past all that. I learned it all, and I just want to use that to empower myself, empower other women, and to just be the boss bitch that I am at all times. So
facts.
Those are my main New Year's resolutions.
I almost cried because I know what you've been through.
I
really feel you, and only I know what you've been through. And
Right.
I can't wait one day till you kind of just do tell your story, because I think so many other people can just relate from it, just because it's like a success story. People like to hear that, like, damn, you overcame something that a lot of people, I'm sure, are dealing with. You know what I mean? So I can't wait till you get more in detail about that.
I actually look forward to that.
It just
laying it all out, because some people see us too when they see me or the twins, being one of the twins, and think shit sweet all the time. And we are very blessed. So let me not be clear, but I'm human. You know what I'm saying? So I don't do
the
a lot
most
of the same
richest,
shit.
most famous people, they have issues. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
People go through shit. They think the more successful you are, that you don't have no fucking issues. Right. Like, for real. You know what I mean? Which is crazy. Little do they know, you probably got more issues than them. You know what I mean? The more successful you are. So, but it just felt good to hear you say that, because that's a part of overcoming stuff, is speaking it. You know what I mean? So, and you saying it with such confidence and just such passion, which that just, I just was good
and
to
just
hear.
Manifesting it.
Exactly.
I got through that shit. I ain't cry, boo.
No, you did. I was like, don't you? Because you know it's contagious. Because you know it's contagious. Right. I be in here like,
because for real,
I know how to stop it. I know how to stop it.
Right. No, it's cut.
You gotta go butt and then you lean back.
No.
And you stay here until they dry. You go like
You
this,
let the
and then
water
they dry.
fall
You come
back.
down slowly. So if they dry, you catch them, and you hit it with. When you catch, you hit it with the, and you play it off, and then you act.
I can't stand you. Stop. Dang.
See, I tried to just throw
through a whole tsunami.
I try to throw a curveball at you, just change your thoughts real quick.
But let me say that right there was even just strength and growth.
It
Literally
was.
growth.
It was.
Because I would normally cry talking about that, and even though I'm damn near there, but because at times I've really been broken, and I'm just feeling powerful and more stronger. So I'm looking forward to the day I do break that down to y'all. I do got to prepare. I can't even wear no lashes. It'll be a waste of time at this point because I'll probably be boohooing the whole time, honestly. But maybe not because, like I said, I'm really doing good. It's just a sensitive topics for me, but I just encourage all my women to just be powerful, be you, you know what I'm saying, and just know your worth. So
Let's go, sis. Give me a hug.
give me a hug. What I told you, head back, lean, hold, 5, 4, come down slow. You good? Ain't nobody seeing. The cameras ain't rolling. Ain't nobody seeing nothing. You good? Tilt back. Okay, swallow. You have to swallow. You heard the swallow.
I think the mic caught the little frog.
I don't give a.
But no, you know what? I really just, I love transparency, so I love you just even talking about it, real talk, and I wish we can go into detail like right now.
Right.
But again, that's gonna be such a dope episode and a dope story.
Right. For sure.
It's a part of your story.
Yeah.
So we're going into the new year just super lit, and I'm glad that you know that you're powerful. Powerful. You powerful too. Because for real, we have to believe these things first. Like we want other people to like validate our thoughts and our feelings, or we want other people to make us feel good. It's like it really has to start within.
Absolutely.
Like it really doesn't matter your story. It still has to start within. So somehow, somewhere, you have to figure it out. Nobody else can come and do it. You have to really just believe in yourself, know your worth, know that you don't deserve shit or that you do deserve certain shit, and just be able to be strong, you know what I mean? And demand respect, demand to be treated like the queen that you are, especially when you know you're a good person. Mm-hmm. Like, we don't have to settle for shit that we think we supposed to settle for. Nah, it's not supposed to happen that way. Mm-hmm. You're not supposed to be with that person. You're not supposed to take that job or whatever the situation is, you know what I mean? So, like I said, it's just good to hear you say it, keep speaking it, keep doing the things that you're doing, like just even the affirmations, all that little shit that people think don't matter. Right. That shit matters. Wake up and tell yourself you great. You hear me? Like, look in the mirror and say that shit. Say that shit with passion. Like, I really be in my crib like this. Like, as my fiance, I be like, let's go!
Go, hello!
Woo! I be screaming and all that. Like,
and put it on our walls.
Period.
Like, let's just be real. Like, we would do whatever the fuck we got to do to feel it. To, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me also say this. Really manifest it. Like she said, not only just believe in it, seeing it, visualize it when you look in the mirror. Look at yourself as who you really want to see yourself as.
Exactly.
You really have to become another person. You really have to change your whole mind frame and how you think. And I want to put a link in this when we post this and this YouTube that just really, it's about an hour and a half, but just listen to whatever pace. If it's 10 minutes a day, whatever. If you keep going in and out, just let it play. But it just really teaches you about how to change your brain and your thoughts, which ultimately will change everything else.
How you act, everything, how you feel, everything.
Right. And it is a process, and it is kind of changing who you are. And it, a lot of it's chemically based and all types of crazy shit. So it's definitely worth tapping into. I can honestly say that video has changed my thought process and my mindset tremendously. I can honestly say that it has really, really helped me. But I was going to say manifest. One thing I will say is I walked around. I remember hearing the story of this girl who just always had bad relationship problems. It wasn't me, crazy as it sounds, but she was saying that a lady who's just really into like spiritual things and stuff like that had told her to when she's manifesting to really write it down on a piece of paper and walk around with it every day. So this particular girl was really manifesting finding her king, quote unquote. So she wrote that down, and like 2 minutes later, she just talks about to this day how she really did find her king.
She did? You said?
She did.
Oh, okay.
So I use that same thought process. Like, well, let me write down what I want. And I don't know if you remember that little pink note slip I had that said, I will buy a house. Exactly. I will elevate my business. As Credit Freedom Today will be elevating into some new things this upcoming year. I will be happy. It was there was about 5 different things in there. And I would literally pull that paper out every day and even just yell it. Just, like just to fucking make it come out of me and really believe it and feel it. I would just do whatever it took. I remember my homegirl Kanita was over and 1 second and I had to pull my paper out and really just do what I do. And I walked around with it every day, and I really can say that I've achieved it all. Now, given it wasn't quite by the first I was aiming for, but it's gonna be by the 5th. I'll tell
Right.
you that.
Exactly. It's still gonna happen.
I will have my new house, my new car, my happiness.
Yes.
I've already found a new level of happiness, a new level of just strength and all of that shit. So it really did work for me also is what I'm saying. So when you just really manifest it, believe it, speak it into existence, and come on with the universe and own that shit.
And that's free, y'all. That's not too much effort for you to just write some shit down and just
doesn't require nothing.
and keep telling it to yourself and keep saying it out loud. Like people really think, nah, if I just say that, it ain't gonna bring it to me. Like, yes, you'll be surprised at how the universe works. Like, and it's more than you just saying it and thinking it's gonna fall into your lap. It's just you putting it into your head, and then you're attracting it, and there's so much other things that come with it. So yes, like that is the number one step to anything. If you want a successful relationship or a successful business, manifest that shit. Put it on paper.
Put your work behind it.
Say it every day. Definitely put the work behind it. But definitely, you feel me?
If you gotta print it off, be strong. If you gotta print it off, fuck the past. If you gotta print off whatever you gotta print off, whatever you feel like you need to be reminded of regularly, put that shit on some paper and print it off in big letters and tape it above your bed. When I tell you I done did that shit, I done taped it on my wall, whatever I need to do to get through something.
Exactly.
I would do that because that's really what it is. It's feeding your brain what it needs to be fed.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
Definitely.
So kudos to you, twin. I just want to scream right now for you. Like I'm just so fucking happy for you, dog. You don't understand. Like I'm so happy because you already know. I tell you, like nigga, I'm never happy if you're not happy, and I know I shouldn't even say that. Because you should always be happy within, like I tell y'all. But for real, like when my twin not feeling good, I ain't feeling good. But it's so dope to see you overcome so much shit at one time.
Yeah,
you feel me? So good shit. Keep that shit going. You motivate me too. Thank you for sending me that video because that shit really helped me too.
Yes.
So y'all definitely check out the link. We're gonna put it on our YouTube.
Yeah.
So
what's your resolution, Swizzy?
Well, mine. I actually did write them down.
Did you?
Let me see if they real personal or if they
no, we want to hear.
It's basically like you said, I want to not let things affect me so much. I go from like 0 to 100 real quick about kind of petty stuff sometimes. So I don't like it. I hate it. I wish I could let stuff go. I definitely think I hold on to stuff the next day. Like I'll wake up sometimes like, oh yeah, that did happen yesterday. And I'm like, nigga, it was so minor. Funny. Like, so I definitely want to work on that. I'm fully aware of that. And just being more calm. I want to work on just kind of just slowing down. I think I said this in the episode before, but just I'm so just, you know what I mean? So I've been finding people to replace me at work, hiring some help, and just moving slow and calming down, trying to enjoy life a little bit.
Right.
But some of my other like personal goals are just going back to eating a little bit healthier. I feel like I always lose myself in like November, December. You got the holidays and shit, and you just kind of, you be like, I just regroup on the 1st, you know? So just eating healthier, getting back to working out 5 times a week. Right now, I always work out 3 times a week with my trainer, Coach Sean. But just working out some more, drinking more water. Watching my mouth a little bit in my relationship. It's really in general, but I don't really have, I'm kind of stay to myself, so... When I am a little upset, it's probably in my fiance. But just watching my mouth and not being so vulgar with my words. Words are very damaging. I'm realizing that words are, to some people, just as harmful as being physical with somebody. So really want to work on that.
And unfortunately, with words, you just really can't. You cannot even really mean it. I say a lot of stuff that I really don't mean, but sometimes you really
mean
can't
it
take that
at
shit
that
back.
very second, baby. You mean it.
You mean it. Mm-hmm. Some stuff, but I've honestly said stuff even that I feel like I didn't really mean, or maybe maybe it was real, but I didn't really mean it in that way. Really, I just made it. Maybe I made it. You know what I'm saying? But
I know what you mean.
I done said shit I ain't even really meant because
I heard you talk to one of your niggas before.
Hello,
and I think you heard me talk to one.
Eat that nigga alive, guts and all. I definitely got a pistol mouth. But you can't blame
everything on mom. We gotta hold accountability. Take accountability, goddammit. It's our fault. We created this.
That shit was dad.
Mama be over there like, they just gonna blame me.
No, that shit was dad.
Right. Y'all right.
Right. Mom be like, but sometimes you can't take words back. You know what I'm saying? It'll stick with somebody. I had to think about shit that has been said to me that I could try to tell somebody else. So I didn't mean it, or it didn't hold that. I can expect it not to hold that much weight. I was just mad. I was just talking shit,
and they'll never forget it.
Yeah, and I know So just be mindful of that. So good. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Little killer.
Yep, I have like some personal goals and then like some relationship goals. Me and my fiance every year we kind of write like what we would like to see each other improve on.
And that's dope.
So yeah, just speaking of New Year's resolutions, these last few minutes, Oh, look, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, it's my New Year's resolutions up. But do you think, I want to ask you actually, how many people do you think actually stick to their New Year's resolutions? Matter of fact, let me be more specific, right? It's a certain percentage of people that give up their New Year's, that stop their New Year's resolutions on January 7th.
Dang, January 7th?
7 days into the year, they like, nope, ain't happening. What's
So you
the
asking
percentage
me what
think?
percent that stops on January 7th?
On January 7th.
23.
Damn, you close as hell. 25. 20. You know your people, huh? You know you and your folk, huh? It's y'all whole little clique, huh? You like, it's about, 23% of us now. Okay.
Let's go.
25. You're right. I ain't ding, ding, ding.
Is it money involved?
No, baby.
All right.
Take a sip of your Hennessy.
It's gone.
Your Frenessy.
Right,
Okay, so what percent of people keep their resolutions for 6 months?
For 6 months.
How many people?
Happy New Year's Eve. I'm gonna say, so we already know it was 25.
You pulling up.
We already know it was 25 that do it by the 7th. So I'm gonna say about so leave 75% left. I'm gonna say about 40%.
Dang.
What?
She good. We gotta take you on Jeopardy or something. We gotta go like on a game show. It's 46%. 46% of people keep their resolutions for 6 months. Okay,
Dang,
now
you would think after 6 months you could keep it flowing.
right, because they
You
say
think
what,
after
30 days
21
to make
days.
it.
That's what I thought.
I guess
But
that's
okay.
when they start resetting. Around June, July, you'd be like, I'm good. I'll pick back up on the 1st. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, you'd be like, that's
Yeah.
my New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
That's how it happened. Okay, what percentage of people, this is the last one, keep their resolutions for the whole year?
So right about now we're looking at about 22,
Nope, it's actually 8%.
80,
8.
8. Where them other folks at?
I don't know. There's some other
What they
numbers.
doing?
Maybe there's an 8 month or something.
Okay.
I don't know, Reese.
Okay.
But there's 8%. Only 8% of people keep their resolutions for the whole year,
Dang,
right?
Really interesting.
But they say people who make New Year's Eve resolutions are 10 times as likely to keep them over those who like try to do other
Like,
stuff
just
or those who
randomly,
don't.
like, change.
Right.
That's
So,
interesting. So 10
I just-
times more likely if you do an actual resolution versus just randomly changing, but the percentage of you actually maintaining that resolution for a year is 8%.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Exactly. Very interesting. So y'all stick in there and listen. They say that the three reasons people don't New Year's resolutions fail according to Forbes in 2019 is one is that it says it's your consciousness that needs to change before your behavior can change. So we can't solve a problem
Makes
on the
sense.
same level of consciousness that we created it. Like we have to heal from what has hurt us, and we have to like change aspects of ourselves so that we can attract and sustain the things that we want, right?
Yep.
Number 2 is you don't have accountability structure to help you sustain change. So even like an accountability partner, just something to hold you accountable for the goals that you do set. Me and Twin are each other's accountability partner, and we check in with each other, right? So you can even get a friend or somebody and y'all just tap in every couple of days or every week and just follow up with each other and make sure y'all on top of y'all goals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Change stretches us like so far out of our comfort zone that like we can't always do it on our own. So we need help, and don't be afraid to ask for help. You feel me? Like we need an accountability partner. Most of us do.
But don't let help, delay you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So if it means you got to find a way to set yourself a time every Wednesday at 1 p.m., I'm going to go through my to-do list, find a way to be accountable
Right.
yourself at minimum. But it definitely does help having a team. So trying to
Yep.
partner with somebody.
Because a to-do list is an accountability structure. It's not actually an accountability partner, but it's still some type of structure. So even if you have a list that you check and you follow up with every week, right?
Right.
And number 3 is that people are actually scared and completely resistant to achieving this goal, and they won't let yourself. So basically, the number one thing that's holding us back sometimes is ourself. Like we don't
Yes.
even believe it. We don't have faith. We're scared to bring it to
Fear.
fruition. And the fear of success is very real. Like some people are scared of like the consequences, not necessarily of success, but the consequences of success, right? So
What it comes with.
exactly, you know
So
what I
that's
mean?
the
Or
number
scared
one
to be
reason people aren't successful is because of fear. It's the
Yes.
number one reason.
Fear of something.
Yeah.
Fear of something, right? So just some tips as y'all set y'all goals, and we close out this last filming for 2019, but our first episode of 2021, just make sure you set goals that aren't vague or unattainable. I think that's why a lot of people don't accomplish them. Either they're too broad. Like, so for example, don't say like I'm going to exercise more or I'm going to lose weight. Be more specific and say, I'm going to lose 10 pounds by a certain date, or I'm going to run a certain 5K run or something like that. So be specific and understand that a little progress each day adds up to big results. So
Yes.
don't feel like what you're doing doesn't count. It does. Also have a timeline, like a weekly and monthly timeline that also goes to your accountability structure. You'll be able to check your to-do list. And most importantly, use positive language when you are creating your goals. So instead of you, for instance, saying don't eat junk food, say something more like eat carrots, eat healthy.
healthier
Say it in a positive way. You know, that's a big factor into us just being able to execute our goals and accomplish them. You feel me? And set goals that are for you, not for anybody else, not your family, not your friends, not your partners, or anything like that. Set goals that are for you. And then lastly, twin, if you don't got no more if you have any tips, go ahead and add to it. If not, you can go ahead and close out.
Nope, I just wanted to reiterate one of your tips, that a little progress each day adds up to big results, because I know that was one of my problems, was feeling like I had to achieve so much in a certain amount of time, or if I can't do all this now, forget it, instead of just doing, even if it's 1% of it. Just something is better than nothing.
Exactly.
You can look 5 months from now and say, well, at least I got from A to B versus just still stuck at A.
Exactly.
It's just better than nothing. So definitely good tips, y'all. That's it. So the quote of the day.
Quote of the week, we say, right?
Quote of the week. I'm sorry. Quote of the week.
No,
This the
that's
quote of
okay.
the year.
We just say
This
we're
the
gonna
quote of the year.
For real. Talk
Like,
to him.
A goal without a plan is just a dream.
Exactly.
And I need y'all to really understand that, because we can all sit and dream all day. I mean, you could dream all day. You could sit all day, look on social media and dream about living this life and dream about living that life, which you just shouldn't do that shit anyway. But regardless, because you should just focus on your dreams and what you want, not in comparison to anyone else. But regardless, don't just sit and dream. Actually put action behind it. Have a real goal. And make sure you're just trying to, again, having a goal is another thing, but making sure you put your work ethic behind it. Doing what we said, a little progress each day, really working towards that goal to achieve it.
And write it out, because you saying that goal in your head is still a dream.
Yeah.
Get it out your head, put it on paper or
Right.
something. You feel me? So
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody who supported us in our first
Yes.
year, which is only, well, not our first full year, but our first 2019, I guess.
2020.
I keep saying 2019. I think because it's on here. But shout out to everybody who supported us so far, y'all.
Yes.
We look forward to
Thank
going through
you.
this year, 2021, with y'all. Shout out to our videographer, Panique, who's
Yes.
behind the camera. Y'all gonna see her one day. We're gonna tag her, but she always professional, always hold us down. So if y'all
Yes.
need any photography, videography, y'all hit up Panique.
Yep.
But thank y'all in advance for y'all support, and we look forward to continuing to grow with y'all. So
Yes.
tap in,
Y'all have a
tapping
great
out.
2021.
Yes, sir.
Tapping out.